It was a freezing night when destiny quietly wrote a story no one expected. The streetlights flickered weakly, and the bitter wind whipped through the nearly empty city. On that lonely corner, by an old bus stop bench, a woman sat shivering, her nurse's uniform barely shielding her from the cold. In her arms, wrapped in a thin blanket, was a baby no more than 6 months old, his tiny face pale from the night air. No one stopped. People glanced, pitted, and hurried on. But that was the moment a black luxury car slowed down, and the window rolled down. A deep voice said the words that would change everything, "Come with me." The man inside was Adrian Blackwood, a name everyone in the city knew. A millionaire CEO, a man who built his empire with discipline and a heart others swore he didn't have anymore. They called him cold, untouchable, a machine in a suit. But when his eyes met the nurse's trembling ones, something inside him cracked. He didn't see just a stranger. He saw desperation, exhaustion, and courage, the kind of courage it takes for a mother to endure the cold while protecting her child. The nurse, Emily, hesitated. Trust was not easy when life had dealt her cruelty at every turn. She had lost her apartment a week earlier after hospital cutbacks left her without work. Her baby's father was long gone, and all she had left were her hands that healed others but couldn't hold on to her own stability. I can't, she whispered, clutching her baby tighter. But Adrian stepped out of his car, his tailored coat catching the wind, and with a gentleness no one would believe of him, he draped it over Emily's shoulders. "I'm not asking you to trust me forever," he said. "Just tonight. Let me help." She finally nodded, more for her baby than for herself. That drive home was silent, except for the baby's soft breathing. Adrian glanced in the rearview mirror more than once, trying to ignore the ache in his chest. He had been a father once, too. A little boy named Noah, who he lost in a car accident years ago, along with his wife. That pain had locked his heart away, turning him into the man the world thought he was, successful, powerful, but utterly alone. And now, here was this fragile young woman and her child, uninvited but somehow filling the silence in his life. When they reached his mansion, Emily's eyes widened. The marble floors, the high ceilings, the warmth, it all felt like stepping into another world. Yet she clutched her baby tighter, whispering to him as though reminding herself, "We don't belong here." Adrian noticed, but he didn't push. Instead, he led her to the guest room, where a fire crackled and a crib was quickly set up by his staff. He gave her space, yet when he watched her settle her baby down, something about the way she smoothed the blanket, the way she kissed the little forehead, made him realize he had forgotten what home felt like. Days turned into weeks. Adrian offered her food, shelter, and eventually a chance to work again. He connected her with a private clinic that desperately needed nurses, giving her a way to stand on her own feet. But the walls Emily carried in her heart were strong. She didn't want pity, she didn't want to be someone's charity case. And more than anything, she didn't want her child growing up thinking they owed their survival to a stranger's generosity. She wanted dignity. She wanted to be strong. Adrian understood more than she realized. He didn't pressure her, didn't flaunt his wealth. Instead, he began to show her the man beneath the CEO, the widower who still visited his son's grave every Sunday, the man who cooked simple meals in the middle of the night when sleep refused to come, the man who knew what it meant to lose everything that truly mattered. Slowly, Emily's fear melted into trust. Her baby, little Samuel, became attached to Adrian in a way that startled them both. Whenever Adrian entered the room, Samuel's tiny arms would stretch out, demanding to be held. And Adrian, who hadn't held a child in years, would lift him, tears threatening each time as memories of Noah stirred within. But life is never kind without testing the fragile happiness it offers. News of Emily staying at Adrian's mansion reached the press. The headlines were cruel: lonely CEO finds new distraction, a nurse with a baby. Rumors spread, questioning Emily's character, painting her as someone who used her child to climb into wealth. The hospital board even questioned her position, hinting that she should resign. Emily was devastated. She felt she had dragged Adrian's name through the mud and endangered the very chance he had given her. One night, she packed her things, ready to leave. But Adrian found her at the door. "You think I care what they say?" he asked, voice breaking in a way she had never heard. "Let them write, let them gossip. I know who you are, Emily. You're the woman who stayed out in the cold just to protect her baby. You're the woman who never asked me for anything. And his voice faltered, eyes glistening, "I can't lose you both. Not again. Not after Noah." Her tears matched his then. For the first time, Emily saw not the CEO, not the man the world painted in harsh colors, but the broken human beneath. She dropped her bag, stepping into his arms. Samuel stirred in her embrace, then reached his small hand toward Adrian as though sealing a bond that words couldn't. Time passed, and what began as a single night of mercy grew into a life neither of them expected. Emily found her footing, working as a nurse with respect and strength. Adrian found his heart reopening, learning that love after loss wasn't betrayal, it was